what about keyword arguments? What if I want to be able to support any number of keyword arguments? Well, there's a way of doing that as well. So let's do print dict, and this is going to take a dictionary, and it will say for key in dict, print key colon space dict subkey with a separator of nothing. And then I'm going to call that like so, print dict. And then let's do a dictionary, and I have a name, which is Mark, and an age, which is old, and job, which is teacher, and let's say number of coffee mugs. I don't know why, just because 6. Okay. And then I'm getting a PEP warning because I need a new line at the end. So now if I run this, it goes ahead, it loops through each key in the dictionary, name, age, job, and number of coffee mugs, and then it prints the key and the value in the dictionary. So just like what you'd expect. Now, you can think about this as being the same kind of thing as you're specifying when you give it a positional argument. So like, for example, I'm sorry, keyword argument. So like, for example, if I say LT equal 333 and prompt equal hello, that's like specifying an LT parameter with a value of 33 and a prompt with a value of hello. So, blah. And the one bit of syntax you need to make this happen is like so. So what I want to do is like say, for example, LT is 33, prompt is hello colon, and name is Mark, and number of coffee mugs. This is probably not going to work. Yeah, I don't think you can do this, but I can do this. I'll have to look that up offline, whether there's a way of having spaces in a keyword. I don't think there is offhand, but I'll check. Anyways, so I want to write this instead. I want to specify any number of keyword arguments, and then they're going to get squished into this dictionary. And just like I squished multiple regular positional arguments into this thing, except here they're going to get squished into a dictionary, and I use star star for that. So star star takes any number of keyword arguments and squishes it into a dictionary. Star takes any number of positional arguments and squishes it into a tuple. Fixing my PEP errors. And then this thing, it doesn't like, because it shadows a built-in name dictionary. So usually what people use here is KW args for this one. And what they usually use here is args for that. So you'll see those commonly used, but you can use any variable name that you want. I was just getting a warning because there was already something called dict in this namespace, which is actually the constructor for dictionary objects. So no warning. And if I run it, so you'll see that I passed in, I got a dictionary with those 4 keys in it and those 4 values. Okay, so why is this useful? Why would it be useful to be able to supply parameters that you didn't explicitly list as keyword parameters. Well, it can be convenient for this lab for one reason in particular, because you're going to want to have an input in function that takes some optional keyword arguments, and you're going to want to be able to pass those arguments through from an input value function that takes a type parameter. So if the type parameter for input value is integer, then you're going to want to pass through GT and LT and G and LE and what have you. You're going to want to pass all of those through. And here's how you do it. So you take a star star keyword arguments here, and then you pass in a keyword arguments that you get from the main thing. So let me show you what that looks like. So let's say I have test input int and test input val. Actually, I just want to do that. So let's say I have a function called test input val, and I'm going to pass those arguments in. So I have test input val, and it's going to take a type keyword argument, actually make that positional. So it'll take a type positional argument, and then it'll take star star KW args. And then it doesn't really want to know anything about what's in these KW args, because it just want to say if type is equal int, then it's going to want to call test input int and then pass in KW args. And then test input int is going to want to have a prompt. Well, it would have a prompt, but I'm not dealing with prompt here. So yeah, give it a prompt. So it's going to take a prompt. And then for KW args, I'm actually going to put the real one. So LE is none, LT is none, GE is none, and GT is none. So just like I had before, and then it's just going to print some stuff. LT. I got those in the wrong order, but whatever. Okay, so this isn't quite what I want, because this thing here, KWRs, is a dictionary, and I'm passing that in as a positional argument here, but I have no dictionary parameter. So what I want to do kind of is like spread this dictionary out into separate keyword parameters that get passed in. And on this side, if you want to pass in a bunch of things that are spread out as individual keyword arguments into a single dictionary, you use star star to do that. So star star here means you take individual keyword arguments and you glue them together into this dictionary. If you put a star star here, that does the opposite. So it basically takes this dictionary and it spreads it out into individual keyword arguments. So let's see what happens. So I'm going to test my input val. I have a prompt, and then I have LT, name, and number of coffee mugs. And I get test input val, missing one required positional argument type. So let me go ahead and give it a type. And then test input int got an unexpected keyword argument name. So it's actually checking to make sure that I didn't pass in any invalid keyword arguments, which is what you want, because this thing knows what it's expecting and what it isn't expecting. But test input val it shouldn't have to do any of that lifting, right? It just want to take whatever you're passing in and pass it down to test input int. So let's go ahead and instead of having name there, let's make this be GT, and we'll do this one as LE. And that works fine. So I get my hello value, which is 6. And I get my prompt, and then whatever order I put those in. So LE is 6, GT is Mark, GE is none, and LT is 33. Yeah, LT is 33, GT is Mark, LE is 6. So I think that's right. All right, so just to emphasize, this thing is expecting specific keyword arguments. If I don't specify any of these, you get the default values. Like here, I got this none because I didn't specify a value for GE. If you give it additional keyword arguments that aren't here, you get an error. And then this thing, it will take whatever keyword arguments you pass in. Some of them are going to match int, and some of them will match like select item or input string. There are different keyword arguments you need depending on what type of input you're getting. This thing doesn't care. This thing will take any keyword arguments and will pass them down into whatever function is being invoked. And then the function that's being invoked, it's up to that to decide whether you got an incorrect argument or not.